Tonight, I would like to talk to you about a long and storied American tradition. In fact, it has historically somewhat been a global tradition, but it does have a rich history in this country at least, and that is pipe smoking. No, this is not a tobacco channel. I have talked in the past about why I smoke cigars, and I just simply want to talk to you tonight about why I smoke a pipe. I probably won't talk about it much from now on, unless I were to do a video perhaps with a cigar maker, because I do believe that tobacco production is important to America and has a rich, storied history in this country. In fact, the growing and the consumption of tobacco, regardless of how you feel about it personally, played a very important role in building the greatest nation the world has ever seen. And yet, some today want to demonize the smoking and the use of what I believe is a beautiful plant that God has put on this planet for people to enjoy. I realize that some of you may think that that is tomfoolery and that is ridiculous. But I'm here to tell you today, my friends, I do not believe that there is any plant, be that tobacco, marijuana, or anything else, that God has naturally put on this planet that is wrong in and of itself for us to take part in. Because it's natural. He put it here. In fact, in the book of Genesis, God said He gave us every fruit, seed-bearing plant, and plants for us to consume in various ways. With that being said, I don't think there's any moral problem with using something that naturally occurs in the earth. The question is how and why do we consume it? That is where the moral issue comes in. But that is neither here nor there. Tonight, I want to talk to you about why I personally smoke a pipe, why it's important to me, why I have a sense of pride in smoking a pipe, and why I believe that it is seeing somewhat of a resurgence among young people, in particularly young conservative men. I believe that the tobacco pipe, in spite of being demonized, and this is very true of cigars as well, but both of these substances are being consumed by younger people because many of them, like myself, have a desire to be in touch with the old ways and to slow down and to maybe look to the past and say, my grandfather or my great uncle or my great grandfather, the people of the past, they had some things right. And as the world continues to try to push America in a more progressive, I would argue regressive situation culturally, I think that something as simple as smoking a tobacco pipe is a simple act of rebellion. Never did I ever think that smoking a pipe would be an act of rebellion, but I think that younger people are starting to realize that maybe our ancestors had a few things right. maybe there was a reason Grandpa smoked his pipe. And I believe that, at least for me, it helps me. It serves as a vehicle to allow quiet contemplation, to reflect on the things that matter, to reflect on the things that make a man a man. And I realize that being a man is not easy. It never was meant to be. But having the time for yourself that a pipe would allow, if that's something you enjoy, and the quiet contemplation, to sit, to read books, to think about the things that matter in life, those things are important. To think about philosophy, history, religion, all of those things are really what matter. All those things enhance us and make us better men. And I believe that the pipe, for men, allow us to contemplate the things that matter. It is the quiet contemplation and the quiet moments when you allow yourself to be alone and to connect with God and to pray and to think about those things and contemplate and mull them over in your mind and reflect on the things of the day, what you may have gotten right and what you've gotten wrong and how to improve those things. Those are the things that make us better. And I believe that the pipe is an important tool, at least for me, that serves as a vehicle to be able to contemplate those things. Now, am I saying that I'm a better man because I smoke a pipe? Of course not. But I think that the world would be better if more men would allow themselves the luxury of having something like a pipe to be able to contemplate and to sit and think and to allow your mind to do what your mind naturally needs to do, to think about the hard things, because as men, I'm going to speak to the men here, it is our job primarily to straighten out this mess that the world is in. We have our work cut out for us, men. And I'm speaking to the people, we'll say 35 and under. Our ancestors, some of them have created a mess, and it is our job to fix it. We've got our work cut out for us. And so it requires that we take upon ourselves the mantle of manhood and the responsibility of manhood. And with that, I think there are certain privileges that culture seems to demonize, and tobacco smoking would be one of them. And some people would say, well, oh, you're encouraging people to smoke. You're going to encourage them to kill themselves. Nonsense. Of course, there is some risk with pipe smoking and cigar smoking as well, but it has been very overhyped. In fact, there is a very minimal risk with pipe smoking and cigar smoking of cancer, and particularly lung cancer. And life is full of risk. Being a man is risky in this world. And I feel that if a man is going to do the hard work that it is required of him to be a man, to straighten out this mess, he should allow himself a few vices every now and then. But as long as you are in control of your vices, and your vices are not in control of you, then I see no sinfulness, nothing wrong with it morally. And I got into pipe smoking because, as many of you know, if you followed this channel for some period of time, I used to write articles a lot. Articles were my way into media. And that at sometimes can be very stressful. People that use their mind a lot, that can be very stressful and very overwhelming to the body. It can be very mentally exhausting and physically exhausting. And the pipe was my way, and still is my way, to sit and contemplate, to reflect, as I said before. And I think there's a reason that back during times when life was much harder than it is now, in, say, World War I, World War II, the Civil War, there's a reason that many men carried their pipes into battle with them. And I do believe that a lot of men would benefit from something like pipe smoking. And I believe that tobacco use in and of itself, pure tobacco, has been demonized. I'm not talking about cigarettes here. Cigarettes are a mechanical device created with all kinds of other chemicals, including rat poison. I would never encourage the smoking of cigarettes. Now, do I believe that people should be free to smoke them? Of course. But tobacco is not the issue. It never has been. It's the chemicals along with it. Even nicotine, while being an addictive substance, has been demonized. The reason that pipe smoking, I would argue, is not addictive, and why I'm not scratching myself for a pipe, is because of the way it's consumed. When I smoke a pipe or a cigar, I do not inhale the smoke into my lungs. I do not inhale it for a nicotine high. I simply draw the smoke into my mouth for taste and then blow it back out. So the nicotine effect is very, very minimal. And I could go days without a cigar or a pipe and not crave it. I don't crave it at all. When I tell you, if I were to hang out with you on a personal level, man, I need a pipe or I need a cigar. I don't need it. I need the time to unwind that it affords me, to be able to contemplate, to think about the things that matter. When I'm thinking about things to talk to you about as my audience, and I'm thinking about how to articulate to you complex topics that really matter to you and why they matter to you and why you should be mad or angry or upset about particular things or why you should do something about something, whatever that issue is. Sometimes it requires that so that I can quiet my mind, because my mind is often a very busy place. So I can quiet my mind and think about those things and think about a way to articulate it to you so that you understand. It is very important to me that everyone understand the issues of the day, whatever the issues be. I don't expect you to agree with me about pipe smoking or anything else. I just want you to understand why whatever I'm talking about is important. And there's a war on tobacco in this country. And it's a shame because, to speak frankly, all this war is trying to control people and control people's daily lives. And it's un-American. This country was built on individual liberty. And the assault on tobacco should enrage all Americans, whether you choose to consume it or not, because it is restricting the freedoms and individual liberties which this country was built on. Yes, is it completely risk-free? No, of course it's not. Is there risk involved? Of course there is. Yes, there is. But life is full of risk. And I would rather take the time to enjoy the life that I have and live the best quality life I can. Because my life, I live for God. And He gave it to me so that I can help you. And I can't help you if I can't be the best me. And tobacco smoking, in particular cigar and pipe smoking, I think helped me to be a better me. Do I need it? No. But I'm glad that I found it. And I'm sure that is why we are seeing a resurgence among pipe smokers in younger and younger frames and younger age groups in this country. It's because they're tired of seeing things demonized that made this country great. And they want to be in touch with some of that specialness that I do believe our ancestors had. And maybe a tobacco pipe or a cigar is just a way to do that. Just some food for thought. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Please like this video, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.